Hey, what's going on? This week I got two comic books. Super excited to get them though, and both of them were zombie stories. So let's talk about zombie stories today and what a zombie story actually is. Also, we'll review the two books, talk about what's coming up this week, and why. Because you're my tree lobster. Just know that. Roll that intro. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? Thanks for swinging by. Sorry I didn't have a video last week. Didn't have anything to report to you, unfortunately. Instead, just coming up here ranting about nonsense. Figured I should at least have a comic book to write about some nonsense. But was able to pick up two comic books this week out of all the ones that came out from DC and everything else. Two I was only actually following. The first one, and again, I'm really liking this publishing company. I think they know how to tell a good horror story. It's from Upshot and it's Year Zero. It's a zombie story, but when you read it, it's just an introduction to the characters. You know what's going on in the background, but they kind of don't tell you, and it's really, really cool. I really love the characters in there. I think there's a good dynamic to them. I always like comic books that do the first issue where we just kind of focus on who our people are, what their limits are, what they can do, and why they're in this situation. Because then you don't have to read so much dialogue later or narration later. And Upshot seems to be kind of toned down on the narration a lot, so it's been really good. I'm enjoying this. I definitely, and I'll go ahead and say it, I think this is the replacement for The Walking Dead. I'll say it. Uh, it's that good. I really enjoyed it. You should too. All right. And last but not least, yet another zombie story. The Unkillable closes on us, and we kind of get a sad ending to it. Again, you always feel bad when you feel bad for a villain. And of course, a couple of villains in here end up biting the dust. And on the tombstone, it had villains, heroes, and tree lobsters. Tree lobsters been a running joke in this thing ever since issue 1, I believe, or 2. I don't know. But it was something that the Creeper and Solomon Grundy truly believed in, being something that could survive in just about any climate, any situation. While the zombie apocalypse was happening at the same time, they all escaped back to Gotham, where they hang out in Poison Ivy's kind of like garden, jungle thingy. A couple of other heroes are there too, so there's definitely some more mythos that we can bounce off of to continue this story going on with a whole new generation of superheroes being trained by villains and superheroes at the same time. Plus, it was really cool. Spoiler, I know I should say that at the beginning, but we see Mary Marvel in this. She's been hiding out the entire time, and she blows up and just does really great stuff against Wonder Woman. Like, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. I hope you would too. Definitely wouldn't make sense unless you didn't read the whole thing. So, interesting thing I noticed, I picked two zombie books this week, and I got to thinking about, movies and stories and how they're written, how they're often a metaphor or analogy towards something. And it dawned on me, a paper I read not too far back, about movie cinema and some of the movies that get produced and stories that get told that way. Like The Blob was actually a story about communism infecting America and then just gobbling everything up. It was kind of the metaphor being played in there. So I wanted to see if there was any metaphor about the typical zombie story. Lo and behold, there is, and because of the time frame, it's pretty much along the same lines. It's all about, and also it depends into two categories, right? The first one was infectious ideas taking over the good people, if you will, right? So, the undead being unclean, deadly, communism, socialism, things like that, and how the masses will take over the individual at one point, making everybody the same. This is kind of the theory behind a zombie, right? They're eating you. Second point that I found very interesting is that there's been a little bit of switch in it too. Just the opposite can actually happen. As we see zombies that run faster, we start seeing that individualism is ultimately what ends up winning the day as well and conforming to your own tribe at that point. Take The Walking Dead, for instance. A tribe of people with various connections and character, but different to their own right. How they have to come together and work and conform in their own way to stop the faster zombies from overtaking. Again, these are all mental mentalities of thought, really. So I thought that was interesting. I just found it interesting that I got two zombie books. I'm usually not a zombie book guy, but these were really cool. The tree lobster thing didn't annoy me as much as I thought it was. It's kind of right up there with that heroes, or what was it, bros before heroes, saying that, yeah, it was there for a while. That was pretty cool. So if you don't know, we're going to be doing Blaster or Stash It Friday night. That's tonight if you're watching this on Friday. We're going to be doing that tonight. We're going to review some comic books myself, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, and Huey the Half Squatch. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about some of this stuff. We want you there. Jump into the chat. Let us know what you thought about these books or sharpshooters questions about these books. We definitely want to have that dialogue going back and forth with you. Also, if you didn't know, I have an auction going on People's Auction House. Link in the description. A lot of good comic books up there going for $1. I kind of use the Key Collector app as my guide to get the books out to people. So a lot of things you'll see on there, you'll see on Key Collector app. There's also some pops in there too, just from estate sales and things that I pick up along the way. I take what I want, and I usually get the majority of it out into some sort of auction. So, what I don't want could be your benefit. Definitely check it out. Link down in the description. The auction closes on the 26th. It's an online live auction. Pay what you want. Pay with what you're safe with. Just get the comic book that you want. All right, guys. I don't have anything else. This is a short one. So take it easy. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And stay away from one another. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.